where we're going to pick up the action. And Templar. During your time at your rather modest home, as the early hours of the morning begin to set in, and the streets fall to an eerie silence where the footfall and traffic diminishes to a greater extent, leaving only the odd passerby, the occasional bark of a distant dog, or the hissing of two cats in a side alley fighting. Your son, from the pile of blankets and padding that makes for what works as a bed, stirs and awakes. He sort of sits up, kind of does that, kind of rubbing his eyes, adjusting to the darkness, and you just hear in the half light, "Where do you go?"
I would assume that Templar was probably in a half sleep, so he's kind of blinking over. Come again?
When you leave, where do you go?
Congregation. Changing the world to the way it should be.
What's wrong with it now?
He kind of gestures to their surroundings. Live like. That's only one. But there's so much. Some of it you will start to see if I don't succeed. Some of it you'll start to see when you get a bit older. Others, you look hardened. You can see now.
Well, what do we need?
Right now, that is a very nebulous. Many things, and yet so few.
He sort of frowns a little bit at the use of the word nebulous.
Confusing.
Okay. We could have more.
What's on your mind? When you go, it's okay. When you get back, even though I'm asleep, I know because my dreams change. They're not scary, but they're different. Different how?
They haven't happened yet. And then they do.
What was the dream that you just had?
There was people. And there was one of them wore a mask, and they were looking for you, and I couldn't find you either.
Huh. Templar has an exceedingly puzzled look on it. Can't imagine what would prevent his son from being able to find him. I would assume Templar has shared, if not the exact location of the congregation, but he probably would have shared, most of the quoting on. So there's a bit of a... There is certainly some silence that comes over to him. Attempts to think of situation cause.
It's in that silence you see him just half illuminated, kind of yawn again in this. Well, I'm going to go back to sleep.
Templar kind of nods and pulls what passes as blankets further over him and, just caresses his head until he does fall back, still silently under that.
And as he does, as you yourself, Templar, what do you do?
Unless something forces me, it's late. My Templar's gonna go to sleep. Hell,
it's not long before sleep takes over you, but obviously the last thoughts are something of concern. And in the morning, as you hear the crows begin their cawing from the roof above you, you awake to see that he has gone.
oh hell no. Templar's. Oh, how early in the morning is it?
It's shortly before there's that dawn glimmer of the shattered sun on the horizon. It's the early dawn chorus with a load of crows that live in the roof above you that just start up a unwanted and unwarranted alarm clock of sorts.
Well, I think first Templar would move about the house to make sure, not there, and then probably give him I wouldn't say it'd be unsurprising for him to be gone, but obviously a little unnerving.
Of course, and on inspection you realise that concerns are somewhat alleviated when you realise that items of clothing, shoes, a big overcoat which is probably suitable for somebody a child 3 times his age, or a young adult would fit into, and you realise that all of that has gone. He's likely seen himself out for whatever reason.
Alright, that does alleviate Templar's concern there. And I think at this point Templar would attempt to get some sort of food. Whether that's going to be and you're going to one of the more well-to-do and raiding their mushroom cavern or whatever, whatever needs to be done.
The time goes on. Hours pass. Still no sign. Prepared food grows cold.
Alright, that would... Templar is... He's gonna start checking the local... or the haunts, as it were.
Absolutely. And as you leave the house for the second time that day, a sense of urgency now in your step. We are going to jump across to a very quick engagement roll, which I took the liberty of sort of answering myself, so putting you at 3 dice. And that sets you at a 4, so risky position as within the walls of the Archive of Echoes, a library and archive, as the name suggests, of things arcane. Ankh, Praescio, Caroline. There is a somewhat restricted section that you currently find yourself in. And sitting on the one of the many podiums around the room is that which you came for. Something known as the Oculus Obscura, a spirit mask of some sort, although allows for specifically reading of things unseen. Now, this thing hasn't been used in several decades, meaning that any information you have on it is purely hearsay. But it is certainly of interest to the Archive of Echoes and worth keeping under, to some extent, lock and key. What are you doing?
So is it just like on a pedestal? Is it behind like a glass display type thing?
It's in a glass case. There are multiple pedestals around this room. Pedestals, sorry.
Do they all have like similar artifacts?
Yeah, there's usually a light up underneath which uplights them, and
like a
sometimes
little plaque explaining this is
Of
this.
course.
It was used by
Yeah, of course. There's and beside it, there's various volumes that line the walls that are research into these specific artifacts of note.
And how many, like, how populated is this part of the Archive of Echoes currently?
This is a restricted area, so on the way in, there was multiple archivists, librarians, who were many of them keeping late hours or working overnight, whereas this is restricted, and so at the moment you are the only ones here.
Is anyone good with more covert methods of entry? Because currently the only way I see to get this mask is just to either pick it up or just smash it in. I don't have many other ideas.
You can only make yourself intangible, right? You can pass it to an object.
Yeah, insubstantial. Yeah, here's another thing. It says insubstantial. Does that mean intangible? Because that's one thing that I was like, kind of, I don't know. It says you may shift partially into the ghost field, becoming shadowy and insubstantial.
I'd say that
one of the other methods says specifically like floating through the air like a ghost. So if I add that like right or on, would that convey the intangibility of a ghost as well? With the additional stress cost?
They do have a presence in the world. It's the way you merge into the ghost field, they merge into the material world. So there is a presence there. There things like I says it says intangible, so it makes me think you can interact to an extent.
So do you think with the use of the ability along with an attune roll, I could shift myself enough into the ghost field to pass through the mundane glass, but still interact with the very arcane mask?
Yeah, risky action. See.
I mean, the problem would be to take out the mask.
Yeah, I don't know how.
I've got something. This goes badly. I've got something better.
Here.
I've got something better in mind.
Okay. So I'll take the 2 stress for activating Ghost Veil. I don't know how Caroline could help me, but
I can cheer you up from a side.
yeah.
Yeah, you got this.
Okay, so risky attune roll, standard effects, no bonus dice. That's a 2.
Ooh. As you reach towards it, you're becoming intangible. This thing emanates from within as something. It almost seems to sense your nature as something emanates outwards. The glass around it shatters and you are thrown backwards, lifted off your feet, 3-4 feet into the air. Would you like to take armor or resist? Or both, for otherwise. Sorry, I should have asked load. This will be 2. I should have asked load as well. So, Caroline. Caroline, what load are you taking?
Oh, medium.
Medium. Cool. Praescio?
Medium.
And Ankh.
Yeah, I'm normal as well.
Great. Would you like to take armor and or resist?
I'd like to do both.
Okay, so you can take, or you could also take heavy armor to negate both damage, but obviously that's 3 load.
Yeah. Well, no, it'd be 5 because it'd be the armor and then the heavy armor.
What I've thought recently, actually, you could just take the one of them.
Oh. Okay, I'll just take heavy armor then.
Yeah, I think I saw that. I think I saw that online. So yeah, you can take the heavy armor for 3 load and negate 2 as your sense sprawling. However, as the glass shatters, the room lighting around you changes to this deep red, and a tannoy, 2 tannoys, one on the diagonal corners of the room, begin this announcement of everyone remain still. Do not move. Backup is incoming imminently. Any attempts to flee will be considered to be a resisting of arrest. All employees remain still, and this evidently somebody up in.
The glass is shattered though, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, glass is gone. Someone else want to take the mask? Because I assume I'm still trying to pick myself up off the ground very painfully.
Out of shards of glass.
Yeah.
Shards of glass are like lying around and on your jacket, and a few kind of nicks and cuts on your arms. And with grabbing the mask, you can do this as a teamwork roll. If you wish, you can assist, but I'm going to need everyone to give me a desperate action.
For what?
I assume at this point.
What? Like running?
Get out. It's...
Would that be? I think Prow would make the most sense for that then.
Oh, absolutely. You can do that as a teamwork roll if you wish.
Yeah, I have 2. I definitely don't have the least amount of stress here, though. Does someone else want to lead it?
I do.
Okay.
I can do.
Caroline leading. Praescio, do you want in on that teamwork as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so everyone making me a prowl roll for every failed roll. Caroline, you take 1 stress, and you take... It's desperate. Desperate normal.
Another effect?
Say again?
Standard effect?
Standard effect, yes.
Okay.
Oh, very nice. So you take 1 stress as...
Sorry.
It's fine.
Don't worry, you landed the 6. So... What is your means of escape? There is obviously a large double door that you came in through, slipping in quietly. And the room itself is surrounded by large windows, many of which have stained glass depictions of significant events.
Could one of the windows be near a canal? I don't know where this library is. Because I think what if there was the opportunity, Moreland would have his little dinghy roped up somewhere real nearby.
It's, to be honest, it's Dosville. Everywhere's close enough to a canal. Sorry, I've got a... Oh, we've lost Apatura. Just give that a minute. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, just lost Apatura for a second there. Just saying, I've got something of an advanced map, so I'm just seeing if I can see Archive of Echoes on there. I can't, but let's move on. So yes, nearby, I will say on the back of that 6, you have a dinghy, your little gondola moored nearby, which at the moment bobs in the water.
Come on then, I won't charge you for this ride, let's just get going.
And climbing up one of the bookcases, setting you...
you have a gun, right?
Me?
Huh?
Yes, you have a gun, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
No.
you're very... you don't have a gun? Do anyone has something like that?
Did you say gun?
Yes, I said gun.
I have a pistol.
Do you think we could shatter a window on the other side to get them off our tracks?
Oh, for sure. With these 2 things, I just pull out the pistol and shoot it at the other window. I assume that's what she meant.
Absolutely, yes. It's. I'm going to say you don't need to roll to shatter the window. What you need to roll for is and you've got with the idea. You can also have an assist from Caroline if you wish, or if Caroline wishes. The roll is to see the effect of your diversion. Do they buy it?
Could I spin this into command roll with the establishing like loud, like commanding attention somewhere else where it's not wanted?
I think that's a fair argument. Go for it.
Because I don't know what else it'd be.
Sway, perhaps. but
Yes.
yeah.
Can you assist in some way? Could you have some ghosts be real spooky in that direction as well?
I was going to say the actual idea is, I'd say, is enough for an assist of.
Okay.
So if Caroline, you take 1 stress and you get the bonus die.
Got
Okay,
it.
I'll take the stress.
Not super effective.
It's as the window shatters and you pry open the other one, closing it behind you. The very, very serene figure of what was once the Weeping Lady is now in pieces over the street below, and and now the cries and shouts as the gunshot alerts.
So it was like a
And-
beautiful stained glass window that I just mercilessly shattered with this gunshot.
Rather with the
Awesome.
something of the patron forgotten god of Dosfos, certainly revered in night markets, of the Weeping Lady, who is the forgotten god embodiment of the first Lord Governor. And as you descend the wall, running through the couple of narrow side streets that lead back to the gondola where it still bobs in the water, as you arrive, a sweeping light above swings over the waterway. Glancing up, you see the figure, the silhouette against the moon of a hot air balloon. Very large searchlight set in, and the balloon itself in the familiar blue of the City Watch.
Okay, didn't know they had those in Dustfall. This is new information.
Can't really give him a helicopter, let's be honest.
Fair enough.
Blimp.
You could have a chariot shackled to 17 ghosts screaming like the souls of the damned they are.
Ah.
So, yeah, I guess we're just still trying to get away on the gondola. Do we need to do anything else?
I'd say at the moment you're in, as that light swings by, you duck back into the shadows of the alleyway. So there's a very narrow landing platform between you and the gondola, and at the moment that light is just swinging over the area. Occasionally it passes over where you are, and all of you step back into various doorways to avoid that. But yeah, the gondola is right there, and you have brief moments where you can run to it if you would like to do so. No need to roll if that's what you wish to do.
Yeah, I don't see why we'd... Oh,
Yeah.
so we'd like to run over to the gondola?
Yes.
As the three of you do, it rocks in the water as you all jump into it. Probably with a little more speed and haste than is necessary, but given the situation, understandable. As it rocks in the water, it takes on a little bit as it sweeps, it sort of sloops in from outside.
She can handle it. She's treated me well so far, okay? Give her credit. As I'm just like, it's okay, and as I start rowing.
And at this point, let's make a fortune roll. Just use my dice roller. As you turn down, following a corner and dropping into a little landing point as the light once again sweeps around, narrowly missing you, and the three of you kind of throw yourselves down, cover yourself with cloaks, coats, whatever you're wearing, just make it look like a bunch of rags sitting in the bottom of this thing that just bobs along the side of the jetty. As they manage to pass unnoticed, but at this point, somebody needs to give me a check.
I'll.
Praescio, yeah.
Yeah.
You've been quiet. Well,
So that'll be prowl, I assume.
okay, go for it.
This would be risky.
I'd say on the back of the last one, they're now actively searching. This is going to be desperate. So remember to take your experience as well.
For sure. No.
As I am going to start another clock, as the second time, as you try to move for the oar, the light sweeps back, holds over it, and a voice shouts down through a megaphone. Stay where you are, and a warning shot punches a hole through the side of the gondola as a gunshot rings out from above, and you see the muzzle flash from the second blue coat aboard.
What now?
How unsafe is the canal waters?
Drinking it isn't advised there, and then there is the very aggressive local wildlife, hagfish and eels being a problem. Hagfish are just overtly aggressive, but tend to cluster together in shoals. Eels are just territorial. So, like I say, it's going to be, if you're planning on jumping in, it's going to be a roll to see if there's no points for guessing what your complication is.
Mm-hmm. Any ideas other than just jumping overboard?
Jumping it, yeah.
Is that the best option we have?
Yeah, I think
Not a good swimmer, but it's better than the other thing.
Then getting
Gondola
shot,
has
I concur.
the gondola has a hole now, so it'll start, filling up, I think.
The hole was like punched through like the side of it rather than the base, so it's not taking on water, but it's certainly a very large warning shell.
Mm.
Ooh,
So there.
that sucks.
Yeah, evidently a sharpshooter aboard this thing.
Okay. I'm good with jumping,
Yeah.
but tonight my stuff hasn't been good, so don't take me for my word.
I think I'd also like to jump overboard. You coming with, Caroline?
The voice from above says, "Stand up, hands in the air. No sudden moves." And as you go through the motions, I'm going to say it's probably individual rolls, so you can roll what you like, but unlikely you can really do a teamwork action here, even though you're all doing the same thing. But
What, we can't link hands and then jump together?
you can flavor it however you want, but it's...
Could I... Okay. Could I cover for them by doing a very aggressive movement, then activating Ghost Veil when I think they're gonna take a shot. So while they're like shooting at me that I'll take reduced damage, the other two can just jump overboard.
Okay. So I'd say with an assist from that, or it's a setup actually. So both of you get +1 to your check as you leap.
Okay.
What's a +1? Is that like a bonus die?
Yeah, bonus die on the setup. And you remember you can push it. You can push yourself for, again, desperate actions all around here, so everyone remember experience. You can push yourself for that extra die as well.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So.
Oh.
Wow.
Very nice. What are you using for skirmish for?
Oh, did I do skirmish? Whoops.
You rolled skirmish, yeah.
Whoop. Sorry, it's just like next to each other.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, you're doing finesse or prowl?
Prowl, I don't have anything finesse. Yeah, if I push myself, that's another die,
It's another die, yes.
and that's 2 stress.
It's 2 stress to push yourself, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go prowl. Okay. Not as good, but still.
Five is good as Ankh. What do you do? What's your?
Yeah. I assume I'm just like standing in front of the other two, and then I just like move really violently down to my side, like I guess where I had the pistol, but I like make it as exaggerated as possible while also like being quick with it. And as I'm right before I like start to pull it out, I activate Ghost Veil to hopefully mitigate whatever damage. I'm not actually trying to shoot back. I'm just trying to very much draw their attention so the other two can get away.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize as well for Praescio that you were. It's the same roll, so we'll take the 6 because you did legitimately roll it on the same die roll. As you're able to, as the other two just disappear from view, as there's the 2 loud resonating splashes, and they fade from view, and from above you hear the rifle being cocked back again with the lever action bolt, and it's hands where we can see them as you stay there. And up to you at this point, Ankh, if you would like to make a roll. The other two plunging into the depths.
So Caroline has the mask, right?
Yeah, and is currently underneath the surface of the water.
And what happens if I get arrested again?
That is, you can make a fortune roll to see how much you give away. You can stay, and depending on that, you can either give away information, you can stay silent and take a beating, or you can give them nothing. and just shrug it off, or you can pay off the blue coats with 3 coin.
I think I'll try a prowl roll to jump off the side.
As you make that roll, we're gonna go to under the water.
Is it another desperate?
That'll be it's a desperate off the back of the as you fall back, you hear the first gunshot ring out, and the second you see the water as the water flows around you. You see the trail of it as you're sorry, I'll start that. You see the trail of the bullet pass through the water, and again, you can take armor and resist, or it's a level 2 harm as that bullet is going to hit you in the lower leg through the calf.
Okay. So earlier, I was trying to, like, provoke them to shoot, but then activate Ghost Veil. It sounds like they didn't shoot, so I don't know if you still want me to take that stress cost for Ghost Veil? Or could I have that happen now? Because I know before we established...
You can reduce the effects, yes. So that'll take it to a level 1 harm. Would you like to reduce that further with armor, or... I don't think you can take armor with your load, but you can certainly resist.
I think I'll just take it. So what is it? Just leg puncture?
You've been winged, so it's there's no damage. The bullet passes through cleanly, but the water mists with the very dark water. You can just sort of see the vague outline as it mists with your own blood, and in these waters, that is going to draw in hackfish. As that's going to happen, we'll jump back to the other two in the depths, leaving the boat moments before, and now taken by the oily black water. And looking up, you can just about make out the haze as that searchlight passes over the surface, which is broken moments later by a bullet trail rippling through the water. And there's a large resonating splash in the ripples as Ankh, in the silhouette of Ankh, falls back, illuminated from above, breaking the surface and sending out a large wave either side. And I'm going to say... Make me a roll just to get out of that final roll for the escape.
For me?
For these two.
Okay.
I'd say you can make, actually, Ankh, if you make the roll as well, but yours once again is going to be desperate because you're going to have several rather vicious fish who, let's be honest, pretty good at swimming.
So are all three of us making a roll?
All three make a roll, but yours is going to be desperate.
Okay.
Rolls again. Oh,
I'm gonna push myself.
Caroline. Caroline, what do you do to escape?
I jumped first into the water and just stayed the closest way possible to the wall of the canal and just trying to advance by pushing myself forward.
Absolutely, and there's wooden supports underneath for the jetties and piers that line the sides for the landing, and sort of clutching onto one of those, just holding yourself down around it, and just focus on conserving that breath, that last deep breath you took. While Praescio, what are you doing on your success?
I'm just trailing behind and just trying to see through the murky waters the outline of Caroline, just following her lead.
You're able to get a grip a little bit further up and around a small stretch of rope, which is covered in brine and weed. But again, holding yourself under just below the surface enough to... You feel somewhat the strain in your chest as the breath begins to leave you. As nearby... And... Oh, this is... We're gonna... There's a very distinct brushing up against you as you feel, Ankh, you feel the first of the hagfish draw in as a muffled gunshot echoes from overhead, and they set in. The water begins to bubble and broil almost with the sudden frenzy as these things just merge in, swarming in. And would you like to resist? This is going to be a level 3 harm, as these things are just going to go absolutely insane, driven into that frenzy.
If I were to invoke Jeremy, would that change anything here? Or is he... Because I'm just wondering, if part of this is the shock of Morlin just getting shot, he's still like slightly hurt from the last score and he's reacting a little bit slower, maybe Jeremy could salvage some of the situation that Morlin can't. You can say no, that's perfectly fine. You
I will say, give me a resolve resistance on that, so...
Okay. I'm 1 stress away from traumaing.
So you need a 6.
Yeah. That's not a 6.
As you disappear from view into the depths, the other two lift themselves out with the passing of the balloon from overhead. The other two lift themselves out of the water, standing on the dockside for a brief moment as the last of the frenzy seems to dissipate. And moments pass. Time seems to slip away as in that last moment before giving up all hope, Morlin breaks the surface and just gasps for air. His face streams with blood that pools in the water around him. And just very slowly, painfully crawling towards the jetty to allow himself back up onto the side, pulls himself up and rolls onto the dry ground, coughing, spluttering, with another level 2 from multiple fierce bites into his skin. And which trauma are you going to be taking?
Reckless.
Let's be honest, that was pretty much nailed what it is to be reckless in that last scene. So yes, that does make absolute sense. And lying there,
Here for a good time, not a long time.
looking up at the dark sky above you, every breath absolutely laboured, body racked with pain.
Is this me?
Yeah.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
Am I not out of the scene since I traumaed out?
We are out of the score.
Okay. I clear my stress, right? That's what happens when I get a trauma?
Yeah, oh, yeah, you don't track over. So
Okay.
Once it hits, you don't go any further.
Alrighty. I think I'm gonna go try to get some of this patched up. I get up very painfully, look down at all the blood dripping from my body and all the stuff that probably shouldn't be in those wounds, and decide that a Psychicker is needed immediately.
Looking from it, you're not actually sure as blood drips from your fingertips. You're not even sure which wound it's necessarily coming from. It's just death by, or near death by 1,000 paper cuts, so to speak. And as Ankh limps into the darkness, Praescio, Caroline, what would you like to do?
Let's get somewhere dry first.
Yeah. Yeah. Should we wait for her? Or do we just keep going?
We agreed on a meeting point earlier, just before leaving.
You did, or did you? Sorry, was that a question or a statement?
It was a question. So.
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely fine. But yes, up to you where you'd particularly like to go.
I'm to the hideout, maybe?
The cavern?
Yes, to the cavern. Safest place we know.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So as you walk through the streets of Doswell back towards Brightstone, occasionally you stop to duck into the shadows briefly as a passing blue coat patrol sweeps the area. Occasionally the sound of their dog search teams catches scent, and there's distant barking, which diminishes the more distance you put between yourself and the archive of echoes. Until arriving tired, worn, soaking wet in the few hours before dawn, or the few moments before dawn. And stepping inside the sanctum, you find it completely empty, save for yourselves. Just the occasional jingling and clacking together of the spirit bane charms that hang from the ceiling around you. The only noise is what you have to say yourselves.
Gonna turn to Ankh and say in the Eruvian
Ah.
language.
Ankh's not there.
Ankh's
Oh.
not here.
Never mind.
It's only you
Right.
and Caroline.
Okay. Whoops. This. Feels weird when empty.
Yeah.
Well,
Uh.
weirder. It's weird. Either way.
Yeah, even far more eerie than when the people. Do you think we have a mean to start some sort of hit here? I was going to say fire, but we are underground. This might not be a great idea.
Just a small cave with smoke. I'm going to say there's not much. A few of the old robes that some of the congregation seem to wear, while others don't, sit in one corner. Other than that, the only means of any kind of fire are the candles, which usually provide the illumination. Whatever heat you can get from them may be a little bit minimal.
Is there at least like a set of change of clothes anywhere?
Say for the robes, I'm going to say make me a fortune roll. See what
Okay.
out there might be.
Fortune.
So you can just roll a single die.
Okay. Something good. Three.
What did you get? Oh. Unfortunately not. This is somewhere where it's not really meant as any kind of habitation. So like I say, you've got some very rough spun robes or what you have currently.
Hmm. Do you have it with you, Caroline?
The mask?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. It's there.
Good.
Do you have?
That's no, just maybe we jump to water. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Candlelight. So hot and warm. That went badly. Like really badly.
Went worse. We have the mask, and we are alive. So, I hope Honk is not too much wounded.
Yeah.
Looked pretty rough from where I stand. Where I stood.
Sure is fine. He can do that arm thing.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. I wish I could learn some similar trick.
Yeah.
Do you think we should just leave the mask here and go get some cup of tea? If he doesn't show up in the next 10 minutes or
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Should we at least like leave a note so that if he comes here and no one's here?
Oh yes, right. Yes, sure.
Yeah.
We can find. I'm sure we can find paper and ink
Yeah.
in this place.
I had some, but jumping into water.
Yeah.
Paper,
yeah.
don't agree.
As you're able to scribble out a functional note in the badly illuminated cavern with a couple of candles providing you with some light. We're going to jump over to where you just were, in Charter Hall, but a slightly different section, and that of a Physica. So, as you knock repeatedly on the door with a brass plaque to one side in the what would it be? It'd be the Alchemist Parish in the northwest quarter, and a very, very sort of still blinking Physica opens the door in a long Victorian type night robe, candle lit, kind of opens it out the door. There's the initial reaction of outrage at being awoken at such an inconvenient hour, and then the concerned reaction to the bloodied figure that stands before him.
Yeah, so Ankh normally is always wearing this same set of like leather overalls. I'm assuming they're basically in tatters now because of all the hungry mouths that were trying to go for him. Or at least like chewed up. It's like mangled. It's not. There's not like patches missing, but they sure tried their best to make him a chew toy.
It's absolutely, and it's a really, really tough leather as well, tough wearing. And you can actually see in several places teeth have broken off in the leather. Sort of a big kind of needle-like.
As he probably still has his hand up to knock, and he's like bracing himself on the other side of the doorway. Just like, hi. Yeah. Can I get some treatment?
You see him reaching behind the door, looking for something with his candle as he puts on a pair of half-moon spectacles. And well, I suppose you'd better step inside. And what was it? Drinking you fell in? He lights a bit more of an effective hooded lantern to illuminate the room ahead of you, and kind of indicates a door that's on the immediate right as his practice room.
Yep. Victim of my vices.
Well,
I'll tell you, it sobered me right up, though.
I'm not surprised. As he pushes his glasses a little further up his nose, you sit down on the large bench in the center of the room, and he's right. Let's have a look at you. And at this point, you can make me a healing roll if you wish. I'm assuming that's what you want to do as a downtime action.
Yes. So is it 0 dice?
It is, and it's but bearing in mind you can spend coin to upgrade the effect. Spend 1 coin per tier.
I don't believe I have any.
Let's have a look at the crew sheet, because the crew might actually have some. So up to you if you want to carry it if you want the crew to carry it. They have 4 coin, which means you can spend a coin to go to 3 or 4, 4 or 5. Sorry. Oh, you can spend 2 coin to go to 6, or you can spend 3 for a crit.
I will spend 1 to make it a 4 or 5. That's 2 ticks, right?
2 ticks as he sets about. A lot of it's cleaning, and he's at one point, sort of without even looking up, passes up this rubberized stick essentially, and just goes bite down as he cauterizes a particularly nasty gash on your upper bicep.
Would he even question like the bullet wound at this point, or is it just like so surrounded by mangled skin that he's just like, oh, that was a big one? He just starts going to work.
He's a docile physiker. Bullet wounds are natural causes.
Okay, that does fill up the healing clock because it was already half full from.
If you take
earlier.
If you take damage when you're healing, it empties.
Oh, it empties.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. Oh well.
As he once again indicates the rubber rod and goes right down again and again, in with this almost like kind of a soldering iron type device, but powered by plasm, which just cauterizes some of the nastier wounds that adorn your person right now. And with that, with the grunts of enduring the pain as Praescio and Apatura take to the streets of Brightstone in the early hours of the morning.
You have just finished listening to this week's episode of Blades in the Dark, What Happens in the Dusk, part of the Domain Gaming, written and told by Livespark and Wyverian. A special thanks to you, the listener, and if you wish to continue supporting us, subscribe, like, and share. As always, comments are welcome. Until the next chapter, to those without direction, follow the lights in the quiet darkness and listen to the silent whisper.